are here at the Ostankino TV Tower. The place is moving slowly. I'm not moving my phone. I'm putting it on a steady on the table, and the cafe is rotating by itself. And the rotation takes place every 40 minutes, I guess, if I have read it correctly. So we are looking at the panoramic view of the Moscow city. Everyone enjoy, and mega love shout out to everyone, especially to our virtual family, Igor Dreamers, and of course to everyone who dropped by to watch this video. So I hope you would enjoy as I enjoy the view. So as we look into the view from up here, let me tell you about the Ostankino Tower. Ostankino Tower, or in Russian it's Ostankinaya Telebashnya, is a television and radio tower in Moscow, Russia, owned by the Moscow branch of Unitary Enterprise Russian TV and Radio Broadcasting Network, standing 540.1 meters or 1,772 feet. Ostankino was designed by Nikolai Nikitin. It is currently the tallest freestanding structure in Europe and 11th tallest in the world. Well, between 1967 and 1974, it was the tallest in the world. The tower was the first freestanding structure to exceed 500 meters or 1,600 feet in height. Ostankino was built to mark the 50th anniversary of the October Revolution, since it is named after the surrounding Ostankino district of Moscow. The construction began in 1963 and was completed in 1967. Extensive use of pre-stressed concrete resulted in a simple and sturdy structure. This structure surpassed the Empire State Building to become the tallest freestanding structure in the world. It held this record for 8 years until it was taken over by CN Tower in Toronto, Canada in 1975. In the world for another 30 years until the Burj Khalifa surpassed both it and the CN Tower in height in 2007. The Ostankino Tower has remained the tallest structure in Europe for over 50 years. Well, there was a plan in 1994 to increase the tower's height to 561 meters, or its 1,841 feet, by adding an antenna, but it was not implemented due to the lack of funding. On the 15th of April 2019, exactly 12 o'clock, all 18 analog TV and there are 21 FM stations still working up to this time too, using the Ostankino Tower. The tower caught fire on the 27th of August, year 2000, killing 3 people. A firefighter and lift operator died when their elevator cabin crashed to the ground level due to the fire. In addition, television and radio signals were disrupted around Moscow. The fire broke out at the height of about 458 meters or 1,502.6 feet, or approximately 98 meters above the observation platform and the Seventh Heaven restaurant. after a short circuit in wiring belonging to a paging company. The fire forced the evacuation of all visitors and staff from those locations. According to Russian news agencies, the evacuation was completed after 90 minutes after the start of the fire. The loss was substantial due to the age and poor maintenance of the electronic equipment, much of which was installed in the 1960s. In addition, the tower had become increasingly packed with equipment. The failure of the fire suppression system allowed the fire to destroy most of the tower's interior, although more than 300 firefighters and the other emergency workers were called in. Firemen were forced to haul heavy equipment, including chemical fire extinguishers, by hand up to the tower to hold the fire. Temporary firewalls of asbestos placed 70 meters up to stop further spread. The fire knocked out virtually all television broadcast in Moscow and the surrounding regions. The only television station unaffected was the private NTV station, but the government decreed that state channels took priority, and as such, the RTR TV channel began transmitting to several Moscow districts. The fire caused the tower's upper spire to tilt slightly, triggering fears the tower might collapse. Although the structure sustained heavy damage, the tower was not in danger of collapse. Effort began immediately to rebuild the tower, which proved to be a long and expensive task. The fire was the third disaster in Russia in a month following an explosion in Moscow's Pushkinskaya metro station, which killed 12 people and injured 150, and the sinking of the submarine named Kursk in Barents Sea, in which 118 died. Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that this latest accident shows the shape of our vital installations and the overall state of our country. We should not fail to see major problems in the country behind this accident, and we should not forget the economy. Whether or not such accidents happens again in the future will depend on how we work in this vital direction. On the 25th of March 2005, the first new elevator since the August 2000 fire made by the German company ThyssenKrupp were tested and put into service. The new elevators travel at a speed of 6 meters per second or 20 feet per second. There were other accidents recorded, like on the first day of July year 2004, Australian base jumper Christina Grubelnik struck the tower during her descending, receiving a concussion and losing consciousness. Her parachute snagged on the lower level service platform and she was rescued by Russian emergency services. Another one was on the 25th of May year 2007. The Ostankino caught fire again, though it was less serious this time and isolated to a platform on the outside of the tower. All people inside the tower were evacuated and the fire was successfully extinguished with no casualties. Then the tower began to have some activities. In April 2009, the observation platform reopened for tourists. The Seventh Heaven restaurant reopened in November 2016, but of course, due to the pandemic, it is now closed. On the 21st of July 2018, there was a race up the tower, which athletes from 12 countries took part in. They ran up the narrow spiral staircase and reached the location at an altitude of 337.0 meters. The fastest of the 28 athletes was German, Kristen Riddle, who made it to the top in 9 minutes and 51 seconds. The women's winner was Cynthia Harris from USA, who reached the top in 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Absolute records were then broken into the categories of men and women.